We're going to talk about Dune Messiah. And I got to do this review differently. So ghostly greetings, my dudes. It's your boy Pruitt, and just holler at me. We're going to talk about Dune Messiah, the sequel to one of my favorite things ever, Dune. Dune. I love Frank Herbert's Dune. This was like Star Wars to me, but it had a little bit more politics, a little bit more... Star Wars to me was didn't push me as a reader, didn't push me as a fan. Dune, I had to think about actions, consequences. This was a little more political. I'm just going to use the term Game of Thronesy because of all the politics involved in Game of Thrones. So it was Star Wars mixed with Game of Thrones. And I loved it for that. Dune Messiah is 300 pages of one of those episodes of Game of Thrones where there's a lot of dialogue. And there's a lot of talking. And the generals and everyone is just moving pieces. And this is the natural successor to Dune. I honestly say if you're going to read Dune, you need to read both of these books. It's like a lot, I know. But that is it. And if you honestly stop right here, this is a good ending point for Dune. However, that pushes you as a reader. The 300 pages in this book will push you because there's 40 billion with a B people died. And there could have been 100 billion people died. But the way Paul did it in his jihad was just the better outcome. Not the best outcome. And Paul even admits, man, I am failing, but I'm doing my best. And I hit home with that so hard. I am a kind of a middle branch. I've worked at my job forever. And I go in every day. And I don't always do my best. But I try. And I'm like, this is the best I could do. I bust my butt and I care so much about my crew, my work environment, how much I get done. And to me, Paul's doing his best as basically a self-proclaimed emperor now because he controls the spice. Arrakis, Dune, is the only planet that has it. Now, Paul runs the show, so he's the head honcho. But with the introduction of new technologies and new places and new characters, this is a more political-based book than the first space opera book. In Dune, to me, it starts off a little bit, I won't say lighthearted, but it's a little bit more fun. You're going to a new planet, you're meeting the new society. There was an uprising, and you have to like adapt and change with the Dune. And it was just fun to go with. This makes you think, like after you get done with a chapter, you write down what happened, and you think about how it impacted you as a person, and if you could have done things differently. Now, Paul, being the Kwisatz Haderach, basically a superhero, he has future sight, so we can see what's going to happen. And at the end of this book, it's just the best logical ending for Paul's character. I'm sure there's more about it after this. I haven't read Children of Dune yet, but this was an amazing way to end where I'm at in the Dune saga. I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue with Children of Dune, of course, but I just really liked Dune. I love that whole story. And that was awesome. But I want everyone to go into this saying that I loved it. And I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. But go into it knowing it's political. It's a lot of narrative. There's a lot of moving pieces. This isn't an action epic space opera that you thought Dune was. This is a more grown up, to me, version of Dune. This is the consequences of our actions. The fun I had in the first book, now I'm seeing that all the suffering and chaos it's causing, whether it be for the greater good or not, it's happening. And they set up a trap for Paul with these new things called Golas, and I really like how that's going in there too. And I enjoyed this immensely. Now, there's more stuff later on in the book that I know that happens from just hearing about it and stuff. But the stuff they set up in this book definitely impacted the whole Dune series. I feel like this, of course, Dune's the most important part, but I feel like this, like here's Dune. This book needs to set up here on it's important in the universe. But like this was a big step up from Dune. And it's a game changer for me because I don't usually like political books. Maybe I like political books more than I thought. But it's a slow burn, thought-provoking, 300 pages of some of my favorite characters in sci-fi. And it made me feel like I grew up because the actions and fun I had in book 1 of Dune, this massive chunker of an epic, had consequences in this book. And it's definitely a generational awareness. And it pushed me as a reader, and it pushed me as a person. And honestly, Frank Herbert, this book was written 40-something years ago, probably. And it's pushing me today. And I don't know when this book came out. I'm going to look this up real quick. Doesn't say. Let's say 1980. I don't even know. But Dune came out a long time ago, 40 plus years ago. And here I am in 2022, almost 2023. And this book pushed me up. It sort of just elevated me into a more adult reading level. Like, I had fun in this. I had great escapism in this. But this was awesome. Political thriller. Fun action scenes, even though there weren't as many as I would have liked. And awesome characters. And it totally pushed you as a reader. The fun Jedi Star Wars-y time I had in this meets more Game of Thrones fun than I had in this. And now I'm very excited to read Children of Dune. It's honestly not my next book I'm reading, because I'm reading one now, but it's the book after that. So early next year, look out for Children of Dune, or if I get some more downtime at work, by the end of the year. But this has been your boy Pruitt, guys. I'm sorry I rambled a little bit, but I really did love this book, and 5 out of 5. Thanks.